What's going on, everybody? How's it going, Discord community? Welcome back to Behind the Bench. This is episode 39. I'm your host, Neil, Irish Flyers Collector, here on Discord and over on Instagram. Appreciate you spending a little time with me today. So, not much really going on since the last couple of weeks to talk about. At time of recording tonight, it's St. Patrick's Day, the official St. Patrick's Day. So, I'm doing a little work on my second favorite holiday after my birthday, I guess, and Christmas. I don't know. So, but for this week, let's get into this week's episode. So this week, I reached out to another fellow Discorder for an interview. I wanted to keep these sessions going like I promised. And if you're in the Gong Show Fantasy Hockey League, we have one of our league mates. You'll recognize the name. He is one of 40 teams in our league, and at the time of recording, he's still alive in the playoffs as a member of our Elite 8 teams that are remaining. He's going head-to-head this week with California Dave, so when you guys see this episode, who knows? We'll see where he's at, if he's still going or not. You'll also recognize his name from the chat from time to time during Gong Show live episodes and Friday nights with Phil. But let me bring him in here. Let me see. Let me bring him in here and welcome Ed Lister. There he is. Let me welcome Ed Lister to the show. Ed, welcome to Behind the Bench. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So, as I've said before to others and people who haven't caught this type of format, it's, I do this to talk to other Discorders where we, dive into the different passions that kind of make people tick in this hobby. And, we're talking about hockey cards. So, wanted to kind of get to know you, share your story, and I guess kind of maybe, start at the beginning, so how did you first kind of get into collecting hockey cards?
So a lot of people have stories where they started collecting football or baseball. I was hockey right off the bat.
Awesome.
Me and my brother, he's a little older than me, so in the 80s, he was collecting cards, the O-Pee-Chees here in Canada. And I just kind of followed suit,
Mhm.
some of my favorite teams, some of my favorite players, and I just kept going. I never
So
stopped.
was it kind of like your older brother kind of introduced you to it? They were starting and he kind of you just kind of tagged along with that?
Yeah, exactly. He was in hockey. I played a little hockey. Then I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme and decided I was going to be karate instead. But he kept with the hockey, so he always
Okay.
had the cards, and I was kind of collecting with them.
Awesome. What was the era like as far as your collecting? Like what era were you kind of first getting into the O-Pee-Chee and stuff like that?
So it would have been probably 87, 88
Okay.
is when he started collecting,
All right.
and I started collecting. But I was more 90, 91, 92 when I really started buying my
Okay.
own
So
cards.
right in that era, so you kind of went along with the 80s where it was basically rookie card or bust, right? That's the
hmm
basically that we had, and then same thing in the early 90s, and then you started really getting into it like that right around when Upper Deck first hit, that 90
Yeah,
91, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember, like, were you strictly brand specific with just O-Pee-Chee, or did you kind of fall in love with Upper Deck too?
Um, no, I was more Upper Deck.
Okay.
Just O-Pee-Chee kind of started to die out when Upper Deck really started taking a hold. And
It is.
yeah, I just remember the first big card I bought was the 50/50 Club,
Okay.
and then I was just hooked on Upper Deck from there.
Was that the 50-50-50 club with was it the Gretzky, Lemieux, and
Yeah, the Gretzky
Hull?
Lemieux Hall. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That artist cards. That was one of the okay. I think
yeah.
everybody knows that one. You just say some cards. That's the thing I love about this hobby. You say a card and everybody's head, it can for most of us, it can pop right now, except for Dave. But it can pop into everybody's heads when you think about it and say that. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a great card. I remember those artist cards, those artist illustrated type cards were really, really cool. And they used to have one, if I'm not mistaken, like one play. There was like a checklist player for each team, and then they had like an artist version for every single team. Do you remember those at all?
I
Like I
don't
remember.
remember them, but
Okay.
it does sound familiar.
Yeah, I remember seeing like I forget who the heck it was, but anyway, but not, that inaugural first 2 years of Upper Deck is definitely hits a special place in my hobby heart. So
Yeah. I think I was around probably 10 or 11 when those started
okay,
coming out, so the
yeah,
memory's not quite there anymore.
yeah, right. So is that kind of like your first prized card that you owned, that 50 50 50?
Yeah, that was my love card.
Do you still happen to have that specific card, or at least a copy of it?
I don't myself.
Okay.
I gave all my cards to my brother when he went away to college.
All right.
So he still has all the boxes at his house in Toronto.
Uh, okay. So he's gonna use it for beer money in college. Trade the cards for beer or whatever.
He never
So
let go of those cards.
that's great. You're gonna have to go start collection. You can just
Yeah.
send Moose and Rocco over to his house and collect your cards from him. So what was it, I guess, about the hockey cards, I guess, or the interest in that kind of hooked you? Was it the sport or like the artwork or the photography of the cards or something else that kind of appealed to you that you kept your attention span?
I guess it was just, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. Every
Mhm,
Saturday, me and my brother would sit down and watch hockey.
mhm.
Um, and then just to see the players, kind of, you can hold it in front of you instead of just watching them skate around on the TV. It was just kind of something cool. Uh, I didn't have a lot of friends that collected hockey cards, so it was just me and my brother trading cards back and forth, and it was just like a family thing. So it really felt good.
That resonates. That's awesome. So, you still do any trading with your brother at all now?
Oh yeah, every time we go to the expo together, we trade cards.
That's awesome. So we know that you're a member here on Discord, and that you're pretty active in the Gong Show community with following a lot of things. How did you first stumble upon Gong Show, and what's your preferred way to consume the content that's the different platforms?
So I stumbled on it. I was just searching up hockey card podcasts
Mm,
on Spotify, and I stumbled onto the Gong Show, and I listened to Josh and Troy, and I thought, you know what, these guys, they're fun to listen to. They're kind of helping me think of what I want to collect and giving some great ideas, and I just kept going on Spotify, and then I realized they were on YouTube, so
mhm.
right away, stopped Spotify listening, and it was just YouTube from then on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah. It took them a little while to get onto YouTube too. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I get that one. I don't know if I, it's crazy for me to think that I primarily do podcast content because that's what I have the time for. It seems like when I'm at work, I'll keep them in or driving to work. But when I have like a 14, 13 minute commute, I don't get a lot of time. But
Yeah.
I used to listen all the time driving to and from my son's hockey practice, and it was like an hour drive there, an hour drive back, and that's where I got most of my stuff. But I just still, I guess, go old school with the podcast. But I have to try to force myself to kind of watch the content, so it's kind of like double dipping for me. So, but I get it,
Y-
especially now what the guys have done and changed it, Louis and all the content. Like there's times where I'm like, I know I need to go visual back and catch the visual content as well.
Yeah. So
Mm.
I walk around and I just listen to podcasts, and they started talking about, they were showing cards, but I
Mhm.
couldn't see them because I was on Spotify. So
Sure.
they're, oh, look at this card. And I was like, oh, I can't. So that's when
Oh, I
that's
can't.
when I found them on YouTube.
There you go. Do you have any particular so yeah, you've been listening back with the OG Troy days, were any
Yeah.
particular favorite moment or memorable moments or
Um,
jokes that they run into the ground that are kind of like your favorite from the show?
Old jokes. I used to like the photoshopped cards.
Yeah.
Um, when they would pull up a card and it would show that like the helmet was a little bit too big, so it was photoshopped on, and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That was some of my favorite stuff they
Yeah.
did. Um,
Nice.
it's been so long since I've listened or seen any of those old episodes, so I might have to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, for sure. So you've been collecting since you were about you said about late 9, 8, 9, 10 in that wheelhouse. So
Mhm.
how has your collection evolved. Obviously, it's changed since you were a kid for sure, because the hobby's completely different in 2025 than it was in the 90s.
Hmm.
But did you carry through, by the way? Did you continue carrying through that whole way from 90s on, or did you get a little distracted and then come back to it? I know you said you were into martial arts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I stopped about midway through high school,
Okay.
and I started collecting comic books.
All right.
So I had a massive comic book collection,
Mm-hmm.
and I was during COVID. A friend of mine had a little group that he was doing auctions, live auctions. So I was doing his comic book auctions, and then after 9 o'clock, he started doing cards.
Okay.
And I hadn't thought about cards in probably a good 10, 15 years at that point, 20 years, whatever it was. And he put up an Ed Belfour auto card. And I mean, I'm Ed, so I like Ed Belfour. And I was looking at this card, and I was like, when I was collecting, they didn't have autograph cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of neat. So I put a couple bids on it, and I think I won it for like $30. And I was like, you know, that's not too bad of a price for an autograph. So I kept going back and going back, and then was telling my brother what I was doing, and he goes, "Oh, I've been collecting cards again since I think McDavid Young
Mm.
Gun years." So we started talking back and forth, and right back into it again.
There you go. Again, just when you thought you were out, it pulls you back in. It's like The Godfather, right?
Yeah, I sold my entire comic book collection, kept a few key issues here and
Okay.
there, and
All
just
right.
put it all into cards.
So getting back into the things and establishing and finding where you're going is, I guess, have you found like a big type of shift in the type of way that you've collecting, or changing your habits of style of cards that you're into, or players specific, like you know anything in that regard? Or I guess maybe like, what type of collector do you feel that you identify as?
So I am a sole young gun, base young gun collector.
Okay.
That's all I collect now. I started buying everything under the sun. If it was a
Mm,
hockey card, I'd buy it.
mm,
I just got right into it, and I want this, I want that. And then I was like, well, maybe I should do a PC. So I like the Rangers. I'm a Leafs fan, but their cards are way too expensive for me.
mm,
Um, I like Seattle and I like Buffalo. So I decided to PC the Rangers, Seattle, and Buffalo.
mhm,
And so I would just collect all their cards. Anytime I saw something come online, buy it right away.
mhm,
Um, just try to get everything I could. And then I got into breaks, and
mm.
I did breaks for probably 3, 4 years.
Okay.
Just any break that came up, as soon as the new product came up, I was right there. Um, I had some really good, about 3 or 4 different Facebook groups that I would do breaks on. Um,
Okay.
so I would just enter everything they had, and we would do what was called degen breaks on one of my friends' sites. And so after the big break, then we'd all pay $10, $20, and try to get a couple teams and see what you can get out of that. Um, and it got too much.
Mm,
Um, I listened to a couple of the Gong Show episodes with like Doghouse, when they were talking about, like, I can't do breaks anymore, and I
mm,
was starting to feel that crunch too.
mhm,
My pocketbook was really suffering, and I had boxes and boxes of cards that I didn't even look at anymore.
mm,
So I ended up just thinking about my collection and what I really wanted to do. And then Phil had a few episodes where he was talking about slimming down your collection.
mm.
And I realized that I don't like patches, and I don't like autos, and I don't like
Okay.
patch autos. Um, I just they're great and all for some, but they're just not for me. And I thought
Mhm,
back to when I was a kid and collecting the Upper Deck Peachy, and it was just inserts and rookie cards. That's all you could get. So I thought, I like Young Guns. I have the Pavel Bure Young Gun still. Um, that was what I really, really liked as a kid. That was probably my favorite card, other than the 50-50-50 Club. Um,
mhm,
so I thought, I'm just going to collect Young Guns. So
mhm.
I stopped doing breaks. I stopped just going into every auction or claim sale that I could find, and I just focused on young guns, focused on flagship. When I buy boxes, there's only, 3 releases a year instead of about 12. So it really helped me just focus on what I wanted.
Hmm. That's a pretty. I mean, I have to give you credit. Like I've that's where I'm steering my focus on some of my other episodes. But like we talked about a few minutes before we kind of went live, that that's one thing that I found that's interesting in this hobby is people being able to find themselves and kind of understand what type of collector they are. You
Hmm.
getting there and hearing other people talk about it and realizing that on your own as well is a huge part of the reason why I do those episodes or why I'm focusing on those, because I want people to have that same enjoyment that you've kind of focused in on. And when you get down to the brass tacks, you're going to be able to, you know, you can't have everything. We want everything in the hobby, but it's just not financially feasible for probably, 99% of us. So that's really awesome to hear that you kind of got there and dialed into what exactly excites you
Yeah.
and continue to keep moving that way and, collecting. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I still have a few PC players that I'll buy a few cards here and there, but
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's mostly just young guns now.
Okay. All right. So you still do anything dabbling like would it get like you talked about Bure? Is it players like that specifically, or is it just players from your favorite teams?
Um, it's actually not even players from my favorite teams.
Oh, just favorite players, just in general. Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's Owen Power, Matty Beniers, Shane
Hmm.
Wright. Um, they're
Two
they're
good Michigan
the
guys. I
three.
like it.
Yeah.
Two good Michigan guys. I'm a fan of that. Yeah, and it's nice. It's funny. I still so like I said, everybody knows my PC habits, but it's like that. I still go and collect the base cards with a binder of the hot players like the McDavids, the Matthews, and whatnot. And if I land and stumble across an insert for a buck or two, but I still get that enjoyment. It's still that takes you back to a kid, still putting them in my 9 pockets, and I've got like 4 binders of those players just downstairs. So it's just doesn't have to be a monster card, like you said. Patches and autos, they're great when they are. But if you kind of get enjoyment out of the nostalgia behind it, then by all means, that's an awesome way to collect.
Hmm. And I
So,
have a 10-year-old daughter that's kind of getting into hockey cards as well.
oh,
So
cool.
she has a few big boxes full of base cards and inserts.
Okay.
She just likes looking through them and looking at them and trying to figure out people's names. So she just sits there and looks at them. So I instead of throwing them out, I just give them to her.
I'm just trying to remember. Let me just take a. I don't remember. I don't think I have any base cards with me. Do you remember when cards back then? You just said that about learning their names, where they would have their middle names on the back of the card too.
I don't
Some,
remember that. I
I
have
think I
to go
remember
back
some
and
cards
look.
having like there's certain players where I know their middle name just because it's on the back of their hockey cards for some reason. That and hometowns.
Yeah.
That's like fun retained trivia that I know on a lot of the players that I specifically collect because of seeing it so many times over and over again.
I like to look
So,
at the back and see where they played juniors, in Canada, OHL. I'm close to Barrie, so look
mhm.
for who played on the Barrie Colts and
Okay.
who's
Yeah,
who's coming from there. So I like looking at those at the back.
cool. So, what's the for you, I guess, your most valuable card, and I mean emotional, not monetary, unless that is this one and the same. What's like the one that most that you like, if something was going wrong, if the basement or the room, whatever's flooding or whatever, wherever you have your cards, what's the first thing you're grabbing and what makes it special to you?
The first thing I'm grabbing is my daughter's soccer card.
Okay.
She played soccer, and we got some soccer cards made up. To
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
that's my most valuable because that's my little girl. So I'd grab that. The second one would probably be the Wayne Gretzky last stick piece
Mm,
card that I have.
nice.
Um, I love Wayne Gretzky. I love the Rangers. It's a piece of history stuck on a hockey card. So that's probably the other one I'd grab.
That's a good one, man. So it's a card with a piece of stick from his last game.
Yeah, I have it here.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
I gotta
it's a
minimize
leaf
my
card,
notes.
but it's got
Oh, there
a
you go.
piece of a stick embedded right into the card. So
Wow.
it's pretty
Is that
cool.
was that Hespeler? Is that the stick he was using back then?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. All right. I don't remember what stick he was using now. I know it wasn't the old famous Titan, the red and white Titan TMP or whatever it was.
No.
Yeah. But that's awesome. That's a great card, man.
That card, it was one of those degen breaks I was talking about.
Okay.
I paid $10 for a spot and hit the New York Rangers, and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that's my team, so this is my lucky day." And out comes this Wayne Gretzky card, and we all just kind of everyone stopped talking. Was like, "What is this?"
What is this? Yeah, because the takes a minute to figure out some of those cards from Leaf and whatnot, and
Hmm.
like I got to figure this out. I need to like a little read the back, and yeah, that's awesome. That's a cool card, man. So, is there any particular grails that you've been chasing for years that you haven't quite gotten your hands on yet?
Um, no, I don't actually have
Okay,
Grail cards.
okay,
The way I collect is I collect what I want, so
uh-huh.
there's no real card out there that I want. Because I mean, I collect Young Guns, so there's no rare card out there for me. So
They're pretty
um,
easy to get, and when
they're pretty easy to get. They're
they're available 24/7, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I would love a Wayne Gretzky rookie card. Um,
Yeah,
that's every Canadian boy's dream is to have one of those. Um, but yeah, I pretty much have everything I want at this point.
that's cool. Hey, you know what? And you just kind of when new stuff comes out, that's what kind of generates the uh the need and the timing to go get it and acquire it. So
Hmm.
now is it you try to acquire, so what do they produce? What, 80 a year, right? 40, 50, 50, and 30. So you try to collect every single young gun, or is it specific players?
So I used to do that.
Okay.
I have a few complete sets. But now it's just, I
Players you
like to
want.
collect players that I want,
Hmm.
players that I've seen like when I watch Team Canada play, I want to collect those. And
Hmm.
um, if it's just, I'm not about the big expensive. Like I'll probably never have a Matthew Schaefer. I have a
Hmm.
Connor Bedard just because I hit it in a break. Um,
Okay.
I would never just go out and get the expensive one because it's expensive. It's just what I want. The teams I like. Um, yeah, so I just basically the teams I like or the players I like. I don't have the need to collect a whole set.
To collect them all, yeah, because yeah, you go through that process. If you're not a set builder or that regard, I just wasn't sure because
Hmm.
the set builders, you're spending money on. Let's be honest, out of 80 players a year, uh, what, 75 of them are duds, or
Yeah.
70, or what I'm saying. Like there's a lot more that don't hit than do hit. Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
Out of 80
Yeah,
players a year.
I stopped collecting sets because Lexus Lafreniere, I tried to get his young gun and I bought box after box and packs and blister packs and everything I could find, and I couldn't, for the life of me, hit that card. Entered
That damn
numerous amounts
Laffy.
of breaks, couldn't get the card, and then
Yeah.
my girlfriend got me the card for Christmas. She
Okay.
reached out to a few people and bought me the card, and then I hit three of them, and it was like, oh boy.
That's the hobby universe messing with you.
Yeah.
That's the that's the hobby gods messing with you, man. And was it all the same one? Not even the parallel one. Was it the same one?
No,
The
it was
the in
all
the
the same
studio?
base. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
base young
yeah.
gun.
Couldn't even
Um,
get a lucky shot at the the unannounced parallel that they did, or whatever, the game
mhm.
footage one.
I think
That
that's when
damn
I
Laffy.
decided. Yeah, I think that's when I decided that, I don't have a Grail card because it took me so long to get it, and I don't have a Grail cards anymore. That's the one I really wanted, and I couldn't get it, and I tried so hard, and I finally got it, and it was kind of like, well, here I am now. I have four.
Now I have four. Yeah. Well, that's a good way to collect too, is to have, to not have a grail specific, because you're not trying to chase something. You're just collecting and buying and acquiring what you want when you want it. Like we said a minute
Mhm.
ago, like Young Guns, that's the night you're in a unique situation, because you can literally buy the card you want when you want it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because there's always something listed somewhere.
Yeah.
So do you play calculated approach? So if you're not buying, if you get the box and you don't get the card you're looking for, you take the calculated approach and at least bide your time for when the FOMO hobby hype dies down, and then you can get it a few months later, or maybe once the next release comes out, it usually kind of dies off.
Yeah, I never buy right away.
Yeah.
I'll still do flagship breaks,
Hmm.
but I will do pick your team, so I get the teams I want,
Yeah.
and then I'll do one or two random teams, just kind of see what happens. I usually end up with Tampa, and I don't really like Tampa, but sometimes I got some good players. So
Yeah.
yeah, I and they're all weighted out. I'll do auctions, see what I can get that way.
All right. So I see you have like a awesome display set up behind you with all their set up on easels and whatnot. Like, is
Mhm.
that what you have them protected and basically in like one touch, or top loaders, and then you kind of display them for yourself on those easels?
Yeah, so I get the easels. They're cheap and they
Yep.
sit well. I don't do grading. I think I
Okay.
have maybe 3 graded cards in my collection, and I actually just have them in top loaders.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
I
Neat.
don't I I like to pull them out, I like to look at them, I like to, pass them around, so
Hmm.
why why bother putting them in a one touch? I mean, they're just gonna stay in my collection anyway, they're not going anywhere, so,
Yeah.
I mean, if I ruin it, that's on me.
You can replace it. They're that easy to replace, right?
Exactly, yeah.
That's funny. I was going to ask you about grading, if you do any grading or like that. I was like, from what I'm seeing, it didn't look like it to me, but I was like, all right, maybe he's got his graded stuff somewhere else if he has it. I'm the same way. Yeah, almost all my collection top loaders. It's again, I think it's because of the era of when I collected, and when you probably same way, like when you collected, and so a lot of those things weren't a thing, and
Yeah.
top loaders were barely a thing. That was just when you wanted to take it to your friend's house or whatever. But I still have, I found some old cards, and when my dad gave them to me post COVID, a box of stuff, and they were with the rubber band wrapped around them still, in the
Yeah,
size that I was just like, oh man. And then I picked it up out of the thing, and right away the rubber band just snapped. It just dry rotted. Poop, poop.
I
So
found,
we did it all. But yeah, top loaders, one touch for some cards, but top loaders is probably what 85% of my collection is in. So, and do you have
yeah.
some stuff like the rest of us, where you have some of those BCW, those white boxes piled up
Yep.
somewhere?
Yeah, I have all the boxes. They're on the top of the display case. That's where most of my collection is, sitting in boxes. Um,
Fantastic. I love
yeah,
hearing that we all have the same stuff. So,
I still have a couple
okay.
of the cards in the screw downs too from the original One Touch.
Oh, yeah, don't open those. Yeah.
No.
Man, we thought we were hot shit when we with cards and screw downs, right?
Yep.
I've luckily never had a bad incident taking them out of one. I've only had like a few, and just took them out, and they didn't stick to it. So it was that. I'm sure the card's probably a little extra flattened, but I don't grade it, so it's just it's in a top loader somewhere.
I have a
So
uh, I have a Magneto Marvel card. It's a hologram card from the 90s that's in a screw
okay.
down. And I do not want to open that because I just feel the hologram's gonna peel right off.
Yeah, I did those too. Was it like Marvel Masterpiece or something like that, or just something else?
I think so. I have the whole set
Okay.
of them.
All right. Yeah, yeah,
I haven't looked at them in years. They're actually propping up some of my hockey cards. So
yeah. So I guess let's lead into that. You mentioned two things now that were not hockey cards. Do you collect it currently, or even you can talk about the past ones? You talked about comics and some Marvel cards. Do you currently collect anything else other than hockey cards, or maybe other sports or TCG or any other kind of collectibles, toys, comics, vinyl records? I don't know, anything other, we all have an addictive nature, so usually it's not just cards, but sometimes it is.
So I will collect some stuff that I like. I have a few basketball cards that I
Mhm.
was at the expo and I like the WNBA, so I found a table that had a lot of cheap WNBA cards, so I picked up a few of those.
Nice.
Um, I have a Star Wars card that I love. It's a Star Wars auto card of
Mm,
Barasafi. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I picked that up.
okay.
Um, but other than that, it's just hockey.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to stretch my legs when I got back into this. I'm a big Boba Fett fan, and I started buying Boba Fett cards. And yeah, I got into it, and I have a bunch, maybe 2 dozen or so. And I just kept finding myself saying, if I want that Boba Fett card, it's going to stop me from buying such and such, Lindros card or Gretzky card or something right now. And I just
Yep.
kind of fell off, and I haven't gone back, but because I'm afraid if I do. But I saw some cool cards that I was collecting, and unfortunately, with that hobby, I mean, the movie and the culture of the hobby, the movie, the cards can get expensive. So it's like for me buying Boba Fett, it's like, okay, just go chase Connor McDavid and buy all his stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
it's expensive, you know.
Well, they came out with that new Marvel set. It was like Marvel Series 1, and the
Hmm.
boxes were like $400 Canadian, I think, at the time. And, you know, I'm not, they kind of had Young Guns in there. So it was kind of like, should I start doing that? And I thought, no, that's just going to ruin me. I better not.
Yeah, exactly. Stay away from it. Just enjoy it from the side a little bit. Yeah, I have the same way. So I was curious because, like I said, we have an addictive nature as hockey card collectors. So there's usually always something somewhere else that you might dabble in it a little bit. Like, I don't know, I have some of my McFarlane figures. I still bought a couple of them when I was at the most recent expo. I bought like a Bedard McFarlane figure. So, I still dabble in it a little bit. So, so
I try to keep all my addictive nature just to hockey cards. Because if I branch out, then it's over.
it's trouble for everybody. No need to bring back starting lineups into my life. So, do you have a favorite piece of like sports memorabilia that's not a card, or does it have a special story behind it by chance?
I think my favorite piece is I bought my daughter. I went to the last expo, and her cousin got drafted into the NHL. So I stood in line for his autograph. I got his picture, and I got that signed to her cousin, and
Hmm.
we have that up in the living room, and she loves it. I think that's my favorite sports memorabilia.
Oh, that's cool. And who's her cousin? Who's the cousin?
Ben Danford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays
All
for the
right.
Leafs. Or got
Okay.
drafted to the Leafs.
Yeah, and he was at the expo.
He was, yeah, it was perfect timing.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
And
So,
then
well,
I have a couple Steve Larmer cards.
oh
A
yeah.
guy I work with, his cousin is Steve Larmer, so I have a
Oh
few
yeah.
cards from him signed, which were pretty neat.
He's like always been a class act guy. Like everybody knows him,
Hmm.
likes him. He's a very underrated player, but he served his role in the late '80s, early '90s. Like I remember him. He was one of those players that I would sit on my bed and collect the player. Every time I got a Larmer card, I would have a Steve Larmer section in my binder.
He's one of
You
those
know,
players, like he has great cards and he had great stats, but no one ever collects them. He doesn't
he's
appear in the
the
new stuff.
it's not quite the talent of Kucherov, but yeah, same thing. Like people just like, okay, he's there.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Kucherov is just, oh yeah, I'm going to dominate the league for the last 7 years, but nobody cares. That's like you
Nobody
said earlier.
cares.
I got in a break and I got a Tampa, and oh well, great. Look at that. I got a Kucherov autograph patch out of one. Something like that. Yeah, but it's like
Put that
Tampa.
in the trader pile.
Yeah, put it in the trader pile. Yeah. So talking about, let's go and kind of shift, I guess, into the community and the marketplace or whatever. Like, do you get opportunities other than your brother? Do you do any trading with other collectors, or is it mostly just buying online, or do you sell stuff online, that type of stuff? Have you dove into that?
Um, no, it's all
Okay.
buying. I
Acquiring. Yeah.
Yeah. I have cards. I'm not good at selling cards.
Yeah,
Um, I
guilty.
don't I don't really try this. I've thought about Slab Sharks to get rid of some cards, but they all just kind of sit there in boxes. I did at the last expo. Phil talked me into going to the trade night, so I did
Okay.
set up at trade night, and that was pretty interesting. It was kind of like my first chance at being a card dealer, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. People had asked me prices, and the first price they
Right.
say, I said, "Yep, it's all yours." I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's all right. Hey, yeah, it's an interesting step, I guess, if you were to, you know, go into trading and selling. And I don't do selling very well. I only sell a few cards because everything that I seem to acquire, like I said, when you talked about, oh, you just buy stuff. Yeah, I'm a hockey card acquirer. Thank you very much. I collect them and they don't go anywhere. It's not. I'm not good at trading because everything that I buy, I'm like, well, I wanted that. I'm not going to trade it, you know. Um, but we'll see. It's just that the way that I do it, and anytime I buy a box, which is far and few between throughout the calendar year, if I get any cool hits or inserts, 9 times out of 10, I'll just list them on my Facebook page or my eBay page, and they're really not more than $1.99 cards, and so I just kind of follow what High Gloss CBJ does, and you know he does a good job of it. I don't do it nearly at his level, but sell a few cards and make a few bucks. It's funny when I get my eBay email. It's like, oh, your payout, your $3.12 was deposited in your account. I'm like, fantastic, great.
I
Sold
used
one
to bring
card.
a I used to bring a big pile of cards with me to Expo, to try to go around to different booths and sell or trade or and I'm terrible at it.
Well,
I'd
don't go ahead.
I'd start talking to the dealer and be like, "Oh, I have this card," and they'd be like, "Well, I mean, they're okay, but I don't really have an interest in a Jeremy Swayman patch auto." I'm like, "Me neither. That's why it's here."
that's that's kind of horrible. Like, somebody should be interested in that. But yeah, well, maybe sometime you might decide to take the dive into maybe trying to list something. I've done it eBay, and once I got a pattern down, it's easy. So if you ever want to peel that peel that band-aid off, let me know. I'll be happy to share a little bit of the simple stuff with it that I've learned. You don't have to ship to
I
the States either.
I actually don't have an eBay account,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've never bought off eBay. I
Okay.
don't even know how eBay works. I know a few people that use it, but personally, I've never used eBay.
So how do you acquire you mostly Facebook groups and stuff?
All Facebook groups. I don't even have, we don't
Wow.
have an
Okay.
LCS in my town either, so I don't buy boxes or cards from an LCS. It's
Hang
just
on a
all
second there. This
Facebook.
just got a lot more interesting. No, I'm kidding. That's you got the that's the wow. As a hobby collector, I don't know. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I've met somebody that doesn't acquire. Here I am talking about cards are listed on eBay 24/7, and you haven't even. Yeah, okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've never used eBay. I've looked at it a few times, but I've never used it.
It's addictive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it that much. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna what I'm gonna give you props because I haven't. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I've been on there forever, but I've actually pulled back mainly because of just I got annoyed with the political environment from both sides of friends and whatever, and I just like
Mhm.
I post pictures of my kids and that's about it. But the Facebook groups, I mean, I've done stuff on there. I used to try to make trades of team lots that I've acquired. I'm like, I don't want this. I've got like 270 junk, Chicago Blackhawks cards. Who wants to send me 150 to 200 Flyers cards? And it is a lot of work sometimes acquiring and buying and trading cards with people on there. There's
Mhm.
so much more effort behind it. So I have to give you a tip of the hat to you for that type of a process to the way that you collect. That's pretty impressive, my friend.
I have 5 groups that I trust on Facebook. I
Hmm.
only use those 5 groups.
Hmm.
People try to add me to a new group. I say, "Nope, I have this 5. I trust the people in this 5. I've dealt with all of them multiple times. I won't go off to another group." I have three breakers that I use and a few auction pages, and that's it.
That's awesome. And that's even harder too with you not having an LCS in your town, man. I'll tell you what, that is you, you are hobby in the hard way, man.
Yes. We had an
Wow.
LCS for a summer, and
For a summer.
unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, business, there
Ugh,
wasn't a lot of business in town, so he had to shut down. But
that
while
stinks.
it was here, I bought a couple boxes, and it was just business as usual.
Did you ever get that itch to try e-packs being a collector that doesn't have an LCS around them?
I did set up for EPAC. I bought a few packs here and there.
Yeah.
Um, it just
Just
wasn't my
didn't
thing.
didn't scratch the itch or whatever, didn't keep yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
not
yeah, I
having
was
not having not having eBay or not having PayPal,
mhm,
getting stuff from ComC just didn't seem feasible to me. So,
mhm.
um, yeah, I just opened a few packs and they just sit there on the pay. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in years. I don't even know what I have.
Oh, in your e-pack, I gotcha.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Well, that's impressive. That's impressive. You might be the first person I talk to that does, but I find that so much more fascinating. So you do a lot of the more acquiring, purchasing through Facebook groups,
yep.
um, and you tried the method, the trading at the shows. Yeah, I would imagine too. I feel that probably that's a little time consuming too when you're trying to unload stuff, but meanwhile you're also there to try to acquire stuff for yourself. There's got to be a little bit of a no 6 7 a little dichotomy of being at a show and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
So you said you've been to the expo. How many have you been? You typically go to that. If what you go to the fall one traditionally,
I,
or is it all the time, or every so often?
I've been to every fall expo for the last 4 years.
Awesome, awesome, and yeah, and Ed reminded me that we did bump into each other. We met each other at probably might have been my first expo. It was when Sylvan had his own table set up.
Hmm.
I think was that the year. Let me try and see if I can remember this. So he was on a side. Was he on a side table on the side of Slab Sharks back about when they had that giant television wall? Like I remember
Um,
that year.
I don't remember where it was. I know it was in the smaller hall, and they actually had like they had the hall, and then they had a hallway full of booths, and then they had another hall with the autograph pavilion.
Yeah, in the
Um,
back, down the long. After you were down the long, you go down the long hallway, and he was
yeah,
in the back there.
yeah.
Interesting. I don't remember meet. I don't honestly. I don't even remember meeting him back there. I feel like the first time I remember meeting him was he was on the side of Slab Sharks, but I could be again. My years have been blending together. The first 2 years there was just impressive. So you went the first four. You've been to the last four, I should say. So that's what are we at 25, 25, 24, 23, 22. Yeah, it's probably around the same time when I don't think I started in 22. But what was your first experience like going to that if you went to the expo and you don't have shows, you don't have an LCS in your town? What was it like for your first experience walking into that building?
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had my brother with me, and he has been going to them for years, so he kind of guided me around, and I
Yeah.
just looked up for upper deck and straight to upper deck, and then I saw Jeremy Lee's booth, so I kind of beelined it over there to see what he had, and then I just kind of walked around in amazement for 3 days. And yeah, I actually have a funny story about my first expo though.
Let me hear
Um,
it. Let's do it. Let's hear it. I
so
love that.
growing up, Peter Forsberg was one of my favorite players, and he
Mm,
was signing at the first my first expo.
mm.
But I couldn't afford to get an autograph. I wasn't paying that kind of money for an autograph. So we
Yeah,
were
he was an
kind of
expensive
standing.
one.
Yeah, so me and my brother kind of stood back next to the mint booth, and we're taking pictures of him and pointing at him. And he got up and went to the bathroom. So I'm like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom before we go. So I started heading towards the bathroom as well. And my brother said that his security had seen us taking pictures of him and pointing at him. So they started towards the bathroom. So as he was coming out, I was going in, and we kind of had one of those awkward, like, whoa, whoa, sorry, sorry. And I gave him a pat on the shoulder, and he gave me a pat on the shoulder. And security grabbed him and pulled him out right back to the backstage. And I come out of the bathroom, and my brother's laughing, and I'm like, what? He's like, you almost had security and the cops break the door down and pull you out of the bathroom because they thought you were going to, I don't know what they thought I was going to do with Peter Forsberg, because the guy's like a tree compared to me. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was just,
He's a tall man, and he hasn't gotten skinnier.
no. So yeah, my first expo, I almost got pulled out by security.
That's fantastic. You're just gawking, and they're thinking you're trying to do something funky or harmful.
I
Like
just
that.
wanted to see my
What was
favorite
that?
player.
What was that movie with Robert De Niro, The Fan, in the early 2000s with him and Wesley Snipes? People thinking you're De Niro in The Fan. Good Lord, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Talk about people reading the wrong impression. Oh my Lord. So when you're when you're at Expo, being a Young Guns collector, I've walked those aisles, I've seen those tables. You've got to probably stop dead in your tracks at some of those tables, which are Young Gun only tables, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. There's one table, and I think he's got probably 4,500 cards, all in top loaders, elastic bands just scattered across his table. And I have to sit there and take the elastic band off and go one by one through each card and see if he has anything I want.
Okay.
That's probably one of my favorite tables because he's just got piles and piles of cards just wrapped
Is
up.
that older gentleman? He's only usually on the outskirts, and it's table. It looks like a nightmare.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay. And like, but yet he's always working, right? Everything's not out. It seems like I've walked I've walked by him on like Thursday, right? And I see him doing the same thing, like pulling up cards out of the boxes and spreading some bundles out on the table. And I've walked by on a Saturday afternoon, and he's still doing the same thing. And I'm just like, it didn't register until I saw it like two times or something like that. And I'm like, I get it on a Thursday, like, but by Saturday night, you should, evening, you should be like, okay, here's my stuff, people. But that dude is just constantly. I know exactly the table you're talking about, man.
Yeah, he's always filling it up, and it's always dwindling down, and he filled it right back up again.
Well, I'll give you credit for that. See that type of that way that you do this expo is the way that you collect,
Hmm.
because with you're putting in more time. You put in more time and effort into the search, because of, like, a table like that, where sometimes for me I find myself going like, that's overload for me. I'm going to go to this table over here which has them sorted by teams, or so. But I'm sure you have to have found, you keep doing it. So if you found a few little, like, not super ridiculous, but if you found a few diamonds in the rough, you're like, oh, this is awesome, got this one.
Um, a couple times, yeah. It was just because I
Yeah.
go with a list, so I'll write a list of who I'm looking for, what pile I'm looking in, and yeah, I'll just search through there, and if I don't see anyone on my list, it's on to the next table or the next bin or the next
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pile, and then I
Nice.
slowly dwindle my list down. I think the last one I found was a Moritz Cider Young Gun. I've been searching for one of those for a while, and
Mhm.
um, me and my brother stopped at one of the dealers that he knows that he sees from his local shows in Toronto, and he asked me, "Oh, what are you looking for?" I said, "Oh, I'm looking for a Moritz Cider." He's like, "Here you go," and he just pulled
You're
one
like,
out
oh,
of nowhere.
there you go. Yeah,
Um,
nice.
the last
Yeah.
expo, I was hunting the Young Guns Renewed. I was trying to complete those sets.
Oh, they're
So I
nice.
completed the first set, and I'm 3 cards away from the second set at this point.
Okay. Cool. Well, there you go. That's kind of it's not a grail, but it is something you're still hunting for. So there you go. You'll get them at some point, I guarantee you. So
Yeah, I think it's like a Caulfield and a Quinn Hughes, I think I'm looking for, and something
okay.
else. So I'll find them eventually.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Have you ever had any so you've been to 4 expos. Have you had any expo regrets where you're like, oh, let me go back and get that card, and you go back and it's gone, or you forgot it and you left? Have you ever had an expo regret by chance?
Not over a card that I missed.
Okay. What'd you miss?
Last expo, I was just
Other than taking
hunting.
down Peter Forsberg, what'd you miss? What'd you forget to do?
Yeah, last expo, I was just hunting singles, and I
Okay.
usually buy at least one box per expo, and do the whole black pack thing. And
Hmm.
so I was just buying singles, and I decided not to buy a box. And I went the whole expo, and I went home, and I really wish I bought a box.
I
Like it's just
forgot to
kind
get
of
the box.
it's one of those things where every expo you go and you buy one box and you open it up, and I
Hmm.
decided I wasn't going to get a box, and then I kind of regretted that after. It didn't help that my brother bought his box and got a Demodoff out of it, so that was uh that was interesting.
Yeah, I was. I make it a tradition. I force myself to. It's not my routine, but I buy a box when I'm there just so I could go get the the redemption packs, the wrapper redemptions, because
Mhm.
I just think it's fun and cool. And I find that those cards, those they should be more expensive than they are.
Oh
Like
yeah,
when the secondary market, because you can only get them there, and we don't know if every single one of them has been pulled and hit. So that's the crazy thing. So yeah, those they should be more expensive than they really are. But I think people just, if they don't know what it is, they're not going to be interested in it. So if it's
yeah.
confusion creates uncertainty, I guess.
And
So
I've been pretty lucky with those black packs. Everyone that I've opened, I usually get a priority signings card out of it. So I
very
mean,
nice.
I get the hit out of the pack right away. So I've been pretty
Those are
lucky.
usually under five, right? Usually numbered out under less than five, or
Yeah,
five or
like
less. Yeah.
they're not like, I think the last one I got was like a Cole Gutman, I think was the last one I got. So
Mm.
I mean, it's not like nobody's searching for that card. So it just kind of
But
sits in a
there's
box.
there's still somebody out there. Like I said, if you were to put it out there, it might be worth something to somebody. You could be like that, pulling the most cider out for somebody. Somebody all of a sudden says, "I'm looking for a autographed Gutman card," and you're like, "Hey, I got one." So, so with on our hobby has gotten very social. Like obviously, you and I were on the Gong Show Discord. Is there anything that you do other than your Facebook groups? Do you like look at Instagram's tied to Facebook? Do you do any scrolling or anything on Instagram? You have an Instagram account, I think, right?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
seeing. You have anything? Any thoughts on? Do you follow content on there or not so much?
Not so much content.
Okay.
Like I follow a few of the fellow gongers.
Mhm.
I follow punk rock cards a lot. Um,
Yeah.
I'm a huge punk rock fan, so
Okay.
his cards and then his music at the same time, it just kind of draws me to it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I follow you, and I follow Dave and um, Felix Pot Band Collector, so I like watching what they're putting on and seeing their cards.
Hmm.
Um, I like to look at the cards. It might not be all the cards I want, but I still like looking at them.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I very same way. It's like I don't follow. I mean, there's not many people that I follow that collect exactly the same thing I do. Like but I like seeing what other people collect. Um,
Mhm.
I can think of quite a few people. You know, Good Guy Eddie's. I met him at the last one. He collects Pavel Minchikov, and I have no interest in Pavel Minchikov, but I love seeing his collection of it. I love seeing, Troy Terry PC collector. I don't like Troy Terry, but I like seeing somebody's versions of collecting cards and whatnot. So I think it's a fun way to see how people collect. Get a peek
Mhm.
behind that curtain. So
Well, I think I'm the only Owen Power collector that I've ever met, so, um,
I'm not hardcore into Owen Power, but I am praying for that guy to pan out. I love Michigan hockey. And when
mhm.
he went number one overall, I was all in. I went and I did what I it was very early on. So I did what you shouldn't do. I went and got his PSA 10, Young Gun. I went and bought his PSA 10 Young Gun canvas. And, I think I paid probably $115 each. So over 200 bills for his card. And, it's not quite. So I'm with you. I'm with you, Ed. We're gonna be holding hands, jumping over the. We're gonna Thelma and Louise this thing with no one power in this hobby, I swear. But you know, I just kind of dial it into. I get base and inserts, like
Yeah.
that's it. So that's kind of it. That's the most important. When you feel like you're missing out on something, you're like, all right, I don't know if it's going to work out, so let's just dial it back a bit. No. Let me ask you about some of your personal favorites in, over the how what you've learned and collected over the years. Do you have a favorite card design or a favorite insert from a particular year or set?
Uh, Favorite card design would probably be uh 22, 23. The Young Gun design on that one. I really like
Mm,
that.
mhm.
Um my favorite insert was Director of Boards. I really
Okay.
like that one. I don't know why. It was just something I
Wasn't the
liked.
one that looked like a business card, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the body checks up against the boards.
Yep, yep.
Unpopular opinion, I like the Lunchbox hero cards. I really
That
like those.
not unpopular to me, my friend. I love it. I love
And
Lunchbox.
um other than that, I don't mind Fanimation.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
I might be one of the only ones that didn't hate this year's Fanimation design. Um I thought it was well done. Uh, I have a
I
lot of
think
unpopular opinions. I think I like the Fanimation. I don't like patch autos. I don't like autos.
that's and here's the thing. I think Fanimation this year has gotten a bad rap. I think if it stood alone by itself, it's a very cool design card.
Mhm.
Yes, it does look like a Netflix murderer documentary. I 100% get it, but that's a cool design with that tear down the page because one of its part looks supposed to look like a drawing. But what I think people don't focus or what they don't elaborate on well enough is the fact that it looks just like UD portraits. They
Yeah,
put them both together. It's the same design, and they just did Fanimation like they did UD portraits. So I think that was a bit of a miss, and that's what I think. That's why I think people are kind of poo-pooing this year's version of it. Okay, so it looks like Making a Murderer, that popular during COVID Netflix documentary, but I think it's still a cool design. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I like it, but I remember just going like, "Oh man, it looks like Upper Deck portraits." It
I
should be
think
something different. So it is, but it is drawn. So
yeah, I
I
think
get
too.
it.
It's just a head,
Hmm.
and I know a lot of people don't like the floating head design. I
Yeah.
think Metal Universe did it. The Cup did it. Like they just had the floating head, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
everyone's cup of tea. So I think that too. Like you get a Fanimation card, you want like a full body shot or like even a half body shot, and if it's just a head, it's not it's not as sought after, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right because I think people see that picture, the ones that a lot of people have liked or talked about, where it's the drawing of the player and the cities behind the background. They're cool. The one that I have is for my Couturier is it is kind of a head. He's just kind of looking like this, but it's from here up.
Mhm.
So not just a floating head. But yeah, I think we'll just kind of go. I agree with you. I don't dislike it. I like it. I just think it's misunderstood. I think it's a
I think so too.
misunderstood. So, how about so you're primarily young guns, but do you have other you talked about director of boards, any other inserts that you saw that we kind of made you go like, "Oh, that's really cool," and maybe you don't collect it, or maybe inspired you to go collect it that you're like, "I gotta get me an insert. I gotta get me something like that."
No, not really.
Okay. Good, fair enough. Hey,
Yep.
like I said, a lot of people like, we bootleg or something or Fanimations, but I was just curious. I just try to make sure to see if anybody has a new favorite insert or something like that that's come out. So
There's a
how
few
about
inserts that I see and I'm like, that's cool. Like I like that. Like I'll watch the
yeah.
Gong Show and they'll show a few inserts. I'm like, oh, that one's really nice. And
Hmm.
then because it's not something that's in my mind that I'm collecting, it just kind of
Hmm.
fades away.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I said, because a lot of the stuff that I go after is I don't go get everything out there, and it's I see them, I'm really cool, and or I try to think of a way like, okay, who's a player that might have that insert that I might want to get, and then I usually probably 80% of the time forget it before I were to act on it. So I get what you're saying. It's pretty much similar the same way. So if you could design your own hockey card, Ed, Billy's sick, Billy Cilio's sick. We got to call in Ed to come into the office and describe to the design team a type of card that he wants to have us do. You have anything in mind? Have you ever thought about like what you would like to do, or kind of blending cards that you've liked over time?
Um, I Not really.
Okay.
I think a cool idea would maybe be like a card set of like behind the scenes, like the team, they're hanging out with their family or going to the cottage or things like that. I think I'd like to see the player that's not just on the ice playing, like the player behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just like out having fun, or it doesn't always have to be them staying with the Stanley Cup. It could be,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
out
day with the cup
golfing.
all the time.
Yeah, it could be like a bunch of guys out at the golf course or riding around in go-karts or in the batting cages or, wakeboarding at their cottage. I think that would be kind of cool.
I'm feeling you going back to your Pavel Bure roots, rookie card roots, when he was on the the rollerblades.
Yeah, when him and his brother were on the rollerblades, the
Yeah.
bloodlines.
Yeah, on the back, the picture, yeah, him and Valerie on the back. I feel where you're going with that, Ed. I mean, that, and what's another popular one from the 90s that as you're talking, I'm visualizing in my head. Um, Pinnacle from the early
Oh,
90s. Eric
the
Lindros. Remember the Sideline series where it was like stuff
mhm.
they do at the cottage or at the lake, whatever. The Eric Lindros water skiing. But it's funny. I did pull Canvas. Probably has some cards like that. Canvas. I've gotten somebody. I think it might have been a Cole Caulfield on the golf course.
Oh,
Um,
really? Hmm,
yeah, yeah. I've seen
that'd
a
be a cool
few, but
card.
you're right. That's a cool design. Get some players their in their natural habitat, right?
Hmm.
Just
Like I have
don't get a
one.
picture of Jack Hughes at the dinner table at a restaurant. Nobody take that.
I got one card. It's Doug Gilmore, and he's wearing like a leather cowboy hat or something, or like a cowboy hat,
The one
just
that
like on a.
that looks like a Stevie Ray Vaughan album cover.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like those. Those are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. What the hell was that one called? Oh my gosh. I think it was something to do with hobbies, because I think I remember from the Flyers, Shel Samuelson. Remember, I don't know if you remember him, big, tall Swede, if I remember correctly, but he used to like to build houses in the summer. So on the card, it was his picture, but it also had like the framing of a house. It's just like the strangest card. It might have been like side hobby. So, but it's, yeah, that card always sticks out in my mind. So, all right, what is we're still on personal favorites. Do you have a favorite hockey movie?
Um, Oddly enough, I watched it not too long ago. And I'm Canadian, so I shouldn't like it, but Miracle. I
Okay.
really like that movie. I
Yeah.
uh I don't know why. It made me cry, I think, when I watched it.
I think it's probably, and because I've tried to put myself in the Canadian mindset of like, I'm like, when the first person told me like, yeah, I didn't watch Hot Miracle, and I'm like, you're a hockey fan. How do you not like? They're like, I'm Canadian. I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm like, but I think there's more to it. Just the story behind it is probably some of the best hockey action in a movie, right? That we've
Hmm.
ever seen. I mean, it's not cheesy like the 80s Young Blood, which is still probably top two for me. It's not, comedy driven like Slapshot, and it's not childish like Mighty Ducks. So that's why I think more people should see Miracle, because just the hockey action alone is fantastic.
And
So
there's a Canadian movie that came out a few years ago. It's a story of Don Cherry, and it's the guy from Shoresy and Letterkenny. He plays Don Cherry, and that movie's fantastic too.
I've seen that. Isn't that I think it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime. I think one of those
Yeah.
platforms. I have to check it out. I need to see more, but it goes back through his history, correct? It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
three-part mini series or something like that.
Yeah, so it was on CBC for us in Canada,
Okay.
so that's where I saw it, and I don't know
Okay.
where it is now, but I remember
I'll take
watching
a
it on
look.
there.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I always said like, yeah, it's one of those things for me. It's like a, yeah, I'll get around to it type of thing, you know?
Hmm.
So,
It's always neat to see the history and like what pretty much what happened to them coming up and things like that. It's really cool.
yeah, it's funny too. Like right now with Gong Show, when they're doing uh, the Hall of Fame profiles, uh, I get fascinated with those because it's like there's so many of these crazy things that these guys have been through and gone through. It's fascinating to me. So, but all right. So you said are the Rangers your favorite team? Is that what I've gathered from you say earlier?
The Leafs are my favorite team.
Okay, Leafs
Uh,
are your favorite. Okay,
yeah.
who's your Mount
Uh,
Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore. Okay.
Your Mount Rushmore. So that if I'm sorry, I forgot. For Canadian, you might not know, but maybe you
Yeah.
do. Your
I'm
top
just
four players from the Leafs.
My top four players from the Leafs are going to be Matt Sundin,
Hmm.
Doug Gilmore, Boreas Salming,
Hmm.
and Felix Potvin.
Okay, awesome, cool. Now, does that vary between your hobby preferences versus, just a hockey fan, or is it pretty much that's just your Leafs Mount Rushmore?
That's just my Leafs round Mount
Okay,
Rushmore.
awesome,
My
very well
hobby,
deserving.
my hobby, uh, hobby would probably be Matthew Nyes, um, Easton Cowan.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I don't collect a lot of Leafs cards, so I don't know who
There
I
you
would
go. All
put
right,
on a
that's fine.
on it.
You're the Young Guns collector. No, I just wasn't sure if
Yeah.
some people might say like, well, my hobby version of my favorite team would be this, but in real life, I know I have to respect this player, this player. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I wasn't sure if it was different. I just know when the guys were talking um, hobby Mount Rushmores, I was curious. I think I remember like Josh, we did the Flyers. I was like, there's one player that I didn't agree with, but I'm like, all right, I don't agree with the player, but I know he has to be there.
And sometimes you
So,
forget that it's recorded and you want to say, "Hey, why don't you do this?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm just talking to my TV right now."
oh, dude, I talk in my car all the time. I laugh at them. I make snarky comments back. Yeah, I talk back to it. So,
Or if they say something and they make a mistake and you want to try to correct them and you're like, I can't. This is being recorded."
yes, yes, I've done the same thing where well, you watched it and you probably paid more attention to it. I remember during my Young Guns episode that you talked about before we kind of hit record. Early on in the episode, I got stumped and I'm staring at this early Young Guns of a Montreal Canadian goalie, and I'm like, oh, that's I'm like, Carey Price, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, Carey Price, and then I kept talking. It wasn't in my notes, but it was Jose Theodore, right? But meanwhile, if I put two and two together when I was talking about the time frame in the early '90s or mid '90s when Theodore's um, Young Guns came out, that Carey Price was about 10 or 11 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been in the shoes where I've made the record stumbling and then it aired and I'm like, oh, you idiot. And then usually right away, first thing in the comments, like, oh, that's not Carey Price. That's Jose. I'm like, yes, I know. I had a brain fart. Thank you. So so yeah, so I have a couple other ones, but they're all mainly a couple questions that are not really part in your, like I talked about, um either getting rid of a set, but if you're a Young Guns collector, primarily, that's really wouldn't kind of necessarily fall into your wheelhouse if you were to,
Hmm.
kind of eliminate a set because, probably some things that are already out there aren't in your collection um, purview, right, in your wheelhouse. So like something like a
Yeah.
lore or artifacts, it's like you're like, oh, those are cool, nice releases. I'm gonna come back over here to flagship. I'm just gonna hop on the
Hmm.
boat. I'm paddling. I'm staying in flagship, kind of stealing that wheelhouse. So, Let me see here. O-Pee-Chee, nothing there. Have you ever met? Have you ever met? Other than the Peter Forsberg incident, have you ever met any players or run into them that are from your collection, either like kind of out in the wild or in a planned event, anything like that?
Um, well, I met Mike Ricci. Um,
He's
my
a
my
man. I
cousin
love that dude.
my cousin Doug played on the Pete's with him when I was younger, so I met him. Uh, I met Mike Gardner once. He came, I think it was Mike Gardner. He came to a hockey banquet for us, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, not really.
That's cool.
I met more musicians and movie stars than I have sports.
Anything you want to share there? Any like favorite movie star or musician that you met or a cool experience?
Um, well, I met the drummer for a band called No Effects. They're my favorite punk rock band. So
Okay.
I met him at their show. Me and my girlfriend at the time, when we were living in Toronto, we saw a crowd of people just kind of standing around, and we were wondering, hey, well, what's everyone standing around for? So we just kind of stood there and
What's
realized
going
it was
on?
the Toronto Film Festival. So I seen a bunch like George Clooney, I think, was there, and Reese Witherspoon. So that was kind of neat.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm not very fanatical.
Okay.
If I see someone walking down the street, I'll recognize them, and I won't approach them or
Yeah.
really give them the time of day other than, knowing that they're there.
Leave them
It's
be,
not,
right? I guess and leave them
yeah,
be.
they're people too, just trying to get where they're going.
Yeah, right. That's cool with the so when you met Ricci, was that back when he played with Peterborough?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I was really, really little, so I
Really
don't
young.
quite remember too much, but
Yeah. I was a Ricci guy and I was sad when he got traded in the Lindros deal. And then I was like, all right, we got Lindros. So I like Mike Ricci. I collect all his base cards. I went through and collect as many of his base cards as I can. It's kind of like my silent PC that I don't really talk about very much. But Mike Ricci's a dude, man. I liked him a lot. So it was hard when seeing him become a very, very good role player on a lot of other teams.
yeah.
So, well, I think that's about all. Touched on the most of the questions that I was kind of looking for, and certainly ones that fit into your role. I've enjoyed hearing about your habits and the way you collect is. But before we get ready to kind of go into our PC spotlight, is there any advice or anything you want to share before we wrap up that you would kind of, you know, give advice to somebody who's might be just starting out, or maybe somebody who's into collecting for a while, like where you kind of said you kind of hit a point in your collection where you're like, I'm going to do this, or anything you want to share there?
Yeah, so if you're just kind of getting into collecting, I would say, don't buy cards right away. Do not buy cards release day. They will be way more than you need to pay for them. Um,
You mean a
if
five hundred
you're,
dollar Matthew Schaefer Young Guns is not smart purchasing?
no,
Damn it,
not
Ed!
for me.
Damn
Um,
it!
I would say, if you're going to do breaks, do it in moderation. Don't go crazy. Don't go for everything that you see. Um, you might get you might see something come out that you're like, oh, I want to enter that, and there's a mini, and all of a sudden you win a spot, and next thing you know, you're buying other break spots. I mean, breaks are great, but
Mhm,
um I'd just be very weary of them.
mhm.
And yeah, if there's something that that you like, and no one else maybe likes it, or no one thinks it's where they should be, just do it anyway. Do what makes you feel great. That's what I did. I just stopped buying everything shiny and just stuck with what I wanted.
Awesome. That's great, solid advice, my friend. Let's, you know, collect how you want to collect, right? Kind of avoid some of the pitfalls, and you can't go wrong. If you enjoy it, you're not going to go wrong. So that's great advice. So awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining me today and sharing
Yeah.
who you are as a collector. I'm hoping that a lot of resonated with people. I'm sure something somewhere did, because that's the one thing that I think is great about our Discord community is everybody kind of has a lot of fun similarities. So, but before we sign off, so thanks for your time on that. But let's get
Yeah,
to
no
some
problem.
fun stuff.
All
Let's
right.
show off some cards and do the
Okay.
PC spotlight. I will. I only have a couple, nothing crazy, but I'll just let you go first. Feel free to share whatever many, however many you want. Something maybe to share with a little story around it, or what makes it special to you. Hang on,
So
let me
this
do
is
this.
one.
Let me fix this. Hang on a second. Let me do. Oh no, there we go. Can
All right.
I do this? Oh no, I just put us both down there. There we go.
So this is one card. If Phil watches this, he'll say it's not a card. Um, but I really liked it. I have this Owen Power booklet from Parker's Champions,
Awesome,
and I mean,
awesome. I
it's
love
Owen
it.
Power. I really like this card. I know I said I don't like patch autos, but I can make an
You're
exception for this card.
you're allowed. Like, what's Josh's famous saying? We are something irrational. Oh gosh, not strategically irrational, but I said it before too. We have our own set of rules, and we always break them.
Yep.
In some degree, we always break them. So I love that. That's awesome. That's cool.
Um, Other than that, I have Sean Avery Young Gun.
All right, nice,
I um I love Sean Avery. A lot of people
nice.
don't. I think he's hilarious. Um, for PWHL, I have the Hillary Knight Young Gun.
Awesome.
Um, oh,
There
I'm
you go.
getting a little
Yep,
bit of
right
a
there. You're
glare
good.
there. There we
Yep,
go. I got the Hillary Knight Young Gun.
awesome.
I got that at the expo. I found it at a booth. The woman wanted $20 for it. I said, obviously, yep.
Done,
Um,
done, and yep.
then there's the this is my first and only red outburst card. I hit this in a
Okay.
break. Um, I was very surprised when I hit that.
Who was that again? I
It's
missed the name.
His name is Victor Ostman. He's the
Okay.
prospect goalie for Seattle.
Okay. All right. And you hit that in a break. Awesome.
Yeah. And then the last two I'll show, other than my Shane Pinto that I finally got. Um,
Phil's got
Connor
them all.
Bedard.
There you go.
Obviously, this is a must-have for a young gun collector.
Mm-hmm.
And my Shane Wright exclusives out of 100.
Very nice.
That's uh, that's my favorite young guns I have.
Very nice. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. You talked about it earlier about, you don't have to, you said like you felt like you're not going to get Schaefer or somebody else. But I mean, at some point you might come around, you might stumble across them. You got the
Yeah.
Bedard, and even I got caught up in Bedard Palooza and wanted to get one. And, I think all the other guys on the show, I don't think any one of them, maybe Dave, but I don't think any one of them owns a Bedard Young Guns. But I wanted to have one because it was, a piece of the hobby. I waited a year and a half to get it, but I still bought one, got one in my
Yeah.
collection. So I understand it. That's an important card
Yeah.
to have for a Young Guns collector.
When I got my Bedard, me and my brother decided we were going to do a break because obviously I couldn't afford to buy a box at those prices.
They're
Um,
crazy.
so the way they were doing it is we're regular teams, and then you buy Bedard boxes. So there was 12 boxes, and everyone buys a box in the case. And just somehow, as soon as they started pulling, and it was funny because you had to buy a team to
Okay.
get a Bedard box. So I bought Columbus because it was cheap.
Hmm.
And I knew from watching breaks that if you got a lot of the Columbus players in your box, you got a Bedard because that's the way the collation was. So I knew if I bought Columbus, I was bound to get a Bedard. And they started opening it up in a Columbus, couple of Columbus Young Guns, and I was like, oh my god, I got one. That is crazy.
That's awesome. So you could get Fantilli and Bedard.
Yeah. Well, Fantilli was the
Oh wait,
the
he was.
extended.
Yes, he was extended, not series two. Different
Yeah.
year. Yeah, yeah, a different series. Yeah, that's true. All
Which is
right.
still one card I'm looking for. I'm still looking for that Fantilli.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love that kid. Again, Michigan guy. I like him. So I keep going back to myself. So and I'm breaks my heart when Beniers has just kind of been leveled,
Hmm.
but still like the
I
guy.
must I must be a Michigan guy too if all these players
I
that I like that played in
sounds
Michigan.
like it, bud. You might want to tune him in. They're playing well. They're going for the Big Ten championship. So scout your
I guess
future young gun card players in
yeah,
there,
I'll
man.
have to start watching NCAA instead of the OHL.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let me share some of mine. There's not too many. It's nothing crazy. If somebody follows me on Instagram, you've seen some of these, but because I just wanted to pull them out here. So there's my Lindros All Stars. Just a cool. I love. It's from 2012. I just like the layout of it. It just
Mm.
hit me in the nostalgia. Hit my nostalgia button. A little tacky, cheesy. It just reminded me of it reminds me of the '80s All Star cards. Um, I might have to take this out, but this is from last year's, not this year's Fleer Ultra, but last year's, which was primarily E-Pack, but Fleer Ultra Power,
That's a really nice
there in
card.
the gold. But this is their orange. But I just thought it was really cool, and it's numbered out of whatever 299, 399. Yeah, there's lower numbers with different parallels, but I had to get the color match, and then so there's a blue one, there's a red one. These aren't numbered, but um, you know, dollar card on ComC. I was all right. I'm taking that, and got the color match in orange for probably $1.50. So, Fleer Ultra. I don't know. Can you see the? Hang on a second. Let me try to get the sparkle. It's actually glitter on the card.
Oh
Look
wow.
in the between is like you touch the card and it's rough. It's a rough surface. So pretty cool. This one, I just got it. So you being a Leafs fan will probably you'll recognize this. I don't know if you saw the reason why behind it. This is the latest update. This is the latest release of. Hang on a second. It's going to probably not focus in on this card because it's Anthony Stolar's canvas. Okay.
Okay.
What's special about that card, Neil? Well, damn it, it's not going to focus because this card is a nightmare. It's so weird. There's him just coming out of there, right? And it's like you might be like, Neil, you have that card because Anthony Stolarz played for the Flyers? No, I got this card because we've discovered that this dude right here above my finger, which there it is, right above my finger, holding his phone, taking a photo of Stolarz as they're coming out. That's Felix Potvin Collector.
Oh
That is
really?
that
Oh.
is Anthony. Anthony was at that game
Oh, that's
and with his
cool.
buddy, and they're in these black and yellow. I was calling them the Bumblebee Leafs jerseys. But this is the Leafs playoff game last year that Anthony was at. That's him holding his phone right above my finger is his phone. He's at this
That's
game. He showed the video clip of this moment, but this is the he realized that he's on a damn hockey card, and I was like, I gotta buy that card just because you're on it. It's the first card of somebody that I've ever known that's on a hockey card. So
that
bucket
is
list
cool.
item on him done. So he's already practicing buying some and autographing them. So I told him, I
That is
said,
cool.
I'm getting one, and you have to autograph it for me. But yeah, Anthony Felix Potvin Collector is on the Series 2 Anthony Stolar's canvas card. So
I'm gonna
crazy.
have to look out for that card. That's I
Yep.
like that. That's cool.
Yeah, somebody there we know, and yeah, I want to have him sign up in the top part here, and then like circle himself or something. I don't know, or add a little curly Q onto his signature or something like that. And then the last one is kind of a nice. It's not. I try to show variety of stuff, cheap stuff. Basically, this isn't super expensive. I don't remember if I showed this clear cut Lindros. So there's me in the background. Hi. Got this. This was a bit of an impulse buy during the Olympics.
Oh,
I was watching the Olympics, and when they had the Pokemon intermission, which made me laugh on the broadcast here. I was scrolling on eBay, which again, you're lucky you don't. You're probably in your Facebook groups, but scrolling on eBay and I purchased that. So it was my impulse buy during the Olympics. So
I have a couple of clear cut cards. I won them in Rip Party this year.
oh, did you? Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
You
so
want
so I have
you
a
want some
couple.
stuff this year?
Yeah, I won 3 boxes of clear cut.
Oh, awesome. Then that product I would love, like, if you were Garrett, like, I'm the guy who, if I bought a clear cut box, I get Gutman. I get the nobody, right? I would get the nobody. And meanwhile somebody else, Josh is pulling a Celebrini, I just was like, oh, it's so hit or miss. And I'm like, like you were saying earlier, you see the card that you really want, just put your money towards that. Go get that card.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Funny thing is, I think one of the clear cut cards is from Tampa.
Is what?
I think one of the clear cut cards is a Tampa Bay card, which is pretty funny.
There you go. They're following you. The Tampa Bay Lightning are your Ryan O'Reilly.
Yep.
So awesome. Well, Ed, thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed getting to know you better. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to kind of share part of your evening, to share, your collecting habits with and the way who you are in the hobby. So thanks again for taking time to sit with me today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. You're very welcome. So, thank you everybody else for watching or listening. Just remember, you can watch new episodes. You can catch new episodes here on Discord in the Behind the Bench channel. New episodes drop on Tuesdays, usually. If you're on Instagram, feel free to follow me at Irish Flyers Collector. Ed, do you have a social? You want to share your Instagram, or you don't share content on there at all, or do you want to share anything like that, or just
I
reach out to
um
you on Discord?
I don't share content on my
Okay.
Instagram too much. It's
All
it's
right.
usually just personal.
Look
So
look for you on
yeah,
Facebook
Discord.
groups.
Yeah, look for me on Facebook
Facebook
groups and in Discord.
Facebook groups and Discord. Awesome. And of course, you can also contact either one of us here on Discord as well. So I appreciate everybody spending time to watch and take a little time to talk hobby with us and learn more about Ed and listen to us talking hobby. So everybody keep collecting with a purpose. Until next time, I'm Neil, Irish Flyers Collector. He's Ed Lister, and you've been Behind the Bench.